There you go.
I can't go back.
Go back, you can. Say hi, Yota.
My training partners. Look at my arm. How wicked. Otter.
Yotaro! Oh, you almost got it! Me and No Gi class, not compatible. Oh, you're almost there!
What's that?
No.
I don't like getting videos. It's too much pressure. Not when you're losing.
Well, don't lose! There's no cutting any scenes. Okay, don't fall into me. Today we have a very special guest at Nakamura Judo Club. Ewan Beaton is here. He's the head coach of the Regional Training Center in Lethbridge, Alberta. In 1992, he went to the Olympics. He's been national champion 5 times in his category. So hopefully we'll get to talk to him a little bit and ask him a few questions to see if he has any advice or session on moving forward. Ewan, thank you so much for coming to our practice today. We really appreciate you being here. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've been practicing judo for 41 years. I started in my school. My big brother started judo and then I started after him. I kind of went through the Manitoba system of good provincial support, provincial competitions, and then I got to a certain point where I thought that if I'm going to give judo a chance to try to get to a world-class level, I moved to the national team in Montreal. You know, I was lucky enough to stay healthy enough to make 2 Olympic teams and progressed on to coaching. So I've coached in Saskatchewan a couple times, here in Manitoba, at the national team as basically a high performance coordinator and a coach, and then now I'm on to Team Alberta plus running a training center in Lethbridge.
What type of dedication did you have versus what you expect from your athletes now?
I had a good role model as with my brother, and you know we weight trained 4 or 5 days a week, and then there was a couple days of cardio. So the younger I was more that I could train. So usually when I started out as a 20-year-old or an 18 to 23-year-old, it was 4 hours to 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then we also trained on the weekend. And then how many calorie walks you do on a Sunday to recover from the training. It was a full-time job on the national team. The government of Canada was paying for me to train, and I trained the way that I expected the rest of the world to train. As I got older, obviously the volume went down. But now some of those volume issues and stuff are now coming down to the younger ages. We have to put a lot of volume in, and you have to train these hard hours. We need to plan rest. Judo has changed. Judo's gotten younger. I don't want to belittle my generation, but everything's tougher. Everything's more dedicated younger. Now there's cadet worlds and there's more money invested in the junior programs. We're talking to a sports psychologist, and really you're in a week, the amount of training you're putting in is actually kind of low compared to the rest of your life. But that rest of that life has to have, I need to put my studies in, I need to have all these other things. But when it's time to train, it's time to train. It's 100% and the intensity has to be there. It's not time to socialize. Those other hours that are left in the week, that's the one you can get together and have your coffee.
What advice would you give to up-and-coming young athletes like Sasha?
Advice would be, again, figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life. and then when you figure that out, then you can put judo in there. And I recommend this a lot to a lot of the athletes. I say, hey, what are you going to be when you're 30 years old? And I don't expect them to give me a 100% answer, but I want them to have a direction. When they have a direction, then hey, it's easy to put passion and energy into the judo because you know where you're going. So then when everything is said and done, not only were you dedicated to this great thing that you have passion for, but your life's set up for the rest of your life. And then hopefully in the end, you're happy with how everything turned out and you're just going to keep giving back to judo.
What advice would you give to older athletes like myself who are still trying to do this sport?
First, it's just all the props and respect because it's the one thing about being a person that's older doing the sport. When the hooks get in, the hooks are in, and you actually intellectually understand why the hooks are in. Now you can actually have a concept of time management, how things work in life, which is huge for a kid doesn't know how life works, but an adult does, right? So you can start to figure those things out. And some of the athletes I love working with, I don't want to call veteran, but maybe more seasoned athletes, is that they are more passionate with direction than the young ones who are passionate without. But the older ones, you know what, you have to plan rest as your first and foremost, because recovery is going to be the hardest thing. So again, you need to learn to find your limit. I can push this hard and I can still walk the next day. Good. I can push this hard and now I can train just as hard. And finding that limit that you're able to push yourself and then recover is the key thing for an older athlete. And working with athletes that are veteran athletes going to world championships and things like this is the most important thing. When you get on the mat, you give that intensity, but then you have to make sure that you're able to recover.
Work the next day.
And then if you're able to recover, then you give that intensity and recover. And again, for me, strength and fitness is the key for the older athletes. You have to keep your body together, but have fun, enjoy, and just learn. Because again, you're older and you have an understanding. So really, the boundaries of a young athlete is like this. I'm just going to win. Where the older one is more like this, and they can see the whole picture and they become better, full generated athletes. If you're serious to become a competitor, you should try to find the mats as much as you can. I think compete and find your challenges.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ewan, for everything.